Human Genome Project, its findings, they can be used to implement in especially in the human medicine as well as the related fields also. So if we look into the medicines, what we can do here is we can find out the genes which are related to the diseases by positional cloning. So in this way we can improve the diagnosis of the diseases. We can detect genetic predispositions to the diseases also. We can create drugs based upon the information we get, and similarly those findings in the human genome can also be explored on the similar lines. We can have the genomes of microorganisms, and what we can do with them is we can detect and treat the pathogens if we have microbial genomes. We can develop energy resources through them. Say for example, we have area of biofuels in which we can implement these results. We can monitor environmental pollutants. We can clean up the toxic waste. As far as the risk assessments are concerned, we can evaluate the health risks faced by individuals who may be exposed to radiations. So if we have the genomes, so if we have the mutations in their genomes caused by those radiations, we can look into the effect of those mutations. We can study evolution, where we can have we can study germline mutations in the lineages. We can trace the migration patterns of different populations by using maternal inheritance, and same way we can trace the migration patterns of males using Y chromosome studies. This genome project can also be applied into forensics. So once we have the genome of different individuals, or say for example we can have the genomes of all individuals in a community, and we can put them together in a database. So once if some crime happens and we get some DNA, we can sequence that, and then we can look into the similarities into that database. So in this way we can get the persons whose DNA was there, and same way we can exonerate the persons who are kind of wrongly accused. We can identify crime and catastrophe victims also with this, and we can also establish paternity and other family relationships. In agriculture and livestock, if we have the sequences of the genomes of different plants and animals, what we can do is we can grow disease and insect and drought resistant crops. We can get more produce. As far as this human genome project is concerned, while if we sequence the genome of everybody and we put that sequence information to somewhere, we might have some issues related to that. So these are treated as ethical, legal and social issues. We abbreviate it as ELSI. For example, our main concerns are privacy and confidentiality of genetic information. We can also have issues with the fairness of use of that genetic information, especially if that information is given to the insurer or employer or courts or schools, that might affect their decisions regarding some person's performance or some person's some benefits. Same way we can also have some psychological effects. So if somebody has if through its genome it has been identified that he or she is exposed to some diseases, so how will it affect its personality? So that's another issue. There can be reproductive issues. So reproductive choices, they may be influenced with that information. And obviously we have clinical issues. So once some medical professionals, they get information about somebody, so how they can let him know and how they can keep the privacy. So we need training for medical professions also. And obviously while we are developing those important products and varieties, if we have their genome information, then obviously there comes the issue of intellectual property rights, so that can also be there. So we see that different findings in human genome project, they have influenced the other related fields, and obviously there are concerns with ethical, legal and social issues as well.